For being with me this afternoon on this sad and somber occasion. The job that law enforcement officers do is a dangerous one, a very dangerous one. They stand in the gap between good and evil. They arrest people. They save people's lives. They keep the evil people away from the good people. They enforce the court orders. I want to introduce you to Deputy Sheriff Blaine Lane. Deputy Lane is 21 years old. He went to the police academy in September of 2020. I swore him in as a detention deputy in May of 2021. And just 8.5 months ago, in January of 2022, he was transferred to patrol as a deputy. He was a great deputy. He was eager. He was brilliant. He learned, he absorbed information like a sponge, and he was careful when he did his job. Now I want to introduce you to the antithesis of that. This is Cheryl Williams. She's 46 years of age. She's a cranker. She had a failure to appear warrant, a felony warrant, for possession of methamphetamine and possession of paraphernalia. She's been to the Florida State Prison on an 11-year sentence. She served more than 9 years for trafficking in methamphetamine. She was locked away a long time. She's had 11 previous felony arrests, 4 previous misdemeanor arrests. And once again, she failed to appear. Well, the Sheriff's Office received a Crime Stoppers tip this morning. We received this tip at about 2:07, and they said, hey, we can tell you where Cheryl is. She's at 4335 Foxtown South in Polk City. For those of you who are not familiar, Polk City is in the northern part of our county, and it is a rural area, and it's known to be peaceful and quiet. So our deputies responded there to arrest her, to take her into custody. She had the opportunity to, one, appear like she was supposed to. So obviously she had bonded out of jail. She could have turned herself in at any given time. And she didn't do that. She ran from the law. So about 2:24, Deputy Sheriff Holzenbeck, Deputy Sheriff Lane, Deputy Sheriff Pennell, and Sergeant Brooks went to the area to arrest her. So let me give you a synopsis of the events. And once again, as I've explained to you every time that I've done a briefing in a short period of time after a traumatic event, this is the best information we have at this point in our investigation. Every bit of this information is subject to change as the investigation goes on, but we want you to know, we want the community to know the best information we have right now. So as the 4 deputies approach the front door, there is 2 men in this mobile home. We'll call the first one Witness A, and we ask where Cheryl Williams may be located. He said she's around back. So the deputies go around back where they meet another man at the back door. And we say we have information that Cheryl Williams is there, and he said, yes, she's here, come on in. At that point in time, Deputy Lane goes back to the front of the mobile home and takes up a tactical position so that he can watch windows and the front door in the event our suspect, who's already on the lam, decides to run. The position that he's taken, and this is important in a minute, is not in front of any doors or windows, but he's angled so that he can see the front door, he can see a set of windows, and he's where people inside can't see him. So if the suspects wanted to attack or shoot out of the house, they can't see him. He also has the advantage that there's some old refrigerators positioned so that if he were to take gunfire, he could go for cover. So he is standing by while Deputy Sheriff Holzenbach, Deputy Sheriff Pennell, and Sergeant Brooks enter. As they enter, you've got to understand this is kind of a maze. So they come upon a room, and when they look into the room as they're clearing the house or the mobile home, they don't see anyone. So as Holzenbach is moving further so he can look more completely into this room, Cheryl Williams, this person, steps into view holding this firearm and pointing it directly at the deputies. Two deputies, at this point in the investigation, we believe only two deputies fired. Sergeant Brooks and Deputy Holzenbach. She struck at least 2 times and she goes down, and at that same time, Deputy Lane says, "I'm hit." Witness 1, who is up.
Wait, bestie, don't press that skip button. Are you ready to earn your psychology degree? It's also
on the porch, sees Deputy Lane grabbing his shoulder like he's pulling at his shirt, and he walks from his tactical position out under another covered area and goes down to one knee. Deputy Sheriff Pennell runs to him to provide assistance to him. We believe at this point in the investigation that 6 shots were fired. We immediately transport Deputy Lane to Lakeland Regional Health. The initial information that we all receive in the spur of the moment when we received our pages, and the information is he's shot in the arm, his vitals are good, everything's fine. We also transport Williams to the hospital because she's shot twice. When we get to the hospital, and as they're treating Deputy Lane, we learn that the shot that went into the shoulder went into the chest cavity, and he died. Williams is currently under arrest at Lakeland Regional Health and under security. She's going to be charged with, among other charges, second-degree felony murder. So she's gone from a felony, a third-degree felony warrant for possession of meth, to a second-degree felony murder charge, where it's our goal to see that she's incarcerated for the rest of her natural life. So the investigation's underway. Did I tell you this gun was a BB gun. Did you hear what I said? It was a BB gun. After the fact, witness 2 tells us that when they heard the deputies arriving, she picked this gun up and carried it into what we'll call the gaming room. Witness 2 said, "You shouldn't do that," or "You should not do that." And she said, "Let them in." It is my belief at this early stage of the investigation, she clearly and unequivocally put us into a gunfight with her and or a suicide by cop. She carried that gun into the room and then immediately pointed it at the deputies as soon as she saw them. As I said before,